Establishing healthy boundaries, a guide for spiritual beings that want to grow. Heal thy or healthy. Carter, we have the same mind. Emotional dumping is a term used to describe the act of unloading one's emotional baggage onto another person without consideration for their well being or boundaries. It often involves venting about personal issues, problems, or frustrations in a way that can be overwhelming, exhausting, and even harmful to the listener. While it is natural to want to share our feelings and seek support from others, emotional dumping can have negative consequences for both the dumper and the listener. When we engage in emotional dumping, we may feel a temporary sense of relief or release as we unload our emotions onto someone else. However, this cathartic release is often short lived and can lead to feelings of guilt, shame, or regret once we realize the impact of our actions on the other person. Emotional dumping can strain relationships, create a sense of emotional burden for the listener, and ultimately hinder effective communication and problem solving. One of the key dangers of emotional dumping is the imbalance it creates in the relationship dynamic. By overwhelming the listener with our emotional baggage, we fail to consider their own emotional well being and boundaries. This can lead to feelings of resentment, frustration, or burnout on the part of the listener, as they may feel obligated to absorb and manage the dumper's emotions without receiving the support or reciprocity they need in return. Furthermore, emotional dumping can hinder effective communication and problem solving. Instead of engaging in a constructive dialogue or seeking solutions to the underlying issues, the dumper may simply unfold their emotions onto the listener without considering the impact of their words or action. This can create a cycle of negative communication patterns, misunderstandings, and unresolved conflicts that can strain relationships and hinder personal growth and development. So, how can we avoid engaging in emotional dumping and cultivate healthy communication habits? This is only for those who want to grow. Here are a few tips to consider. Practice self awareness. Before venting to someone else, take a moment to reflect on your emotions and the underlying reasons behind them. Are you seeking validation, support, or advice? By understanding your own emotional needs, you can communicate more effectively and respectively with others. Set boundaries. Respect the boundaries of others and seek consent before sharing your emotions or concerns. Ask if the other person is in a mental and emotional space to listen and offer support. And be prepared to reciprocate that support in return. First and foremost, seek professional help. If you find yourself consistently relying on others to manage your emotions, or if you feel overwhelmed by the emotional demands of others, consider seeking support from a therapist, counselor, or mental health professional. Practice active listening. When someone else is sharing their emotions with you, practice active listening by offering empathy, validation, and support. Avoid judgment, criticism, or unsolicited advice and focus on creating a safe and supportive space for open communication. Ultimately, emotional dumping is a toxic form of venting that can have negative consequences for both the dumper and the listener. By cultivating healthier communication habits, setting boundaries, and seeking support when needed, we can build stronger, more meaningful relationships based on respect, empathy, and effective communication. This is by no means anything against any of my wonderful clientele, but this is definitely for those who are seeking answers to questions that they have when they find themselves caught in snags, asking questions as to how they can live a better life for themselves and for their family and friends. I hope this helps. See you at the crossroads. You won't be lonely. Go to my website, www.motherwisdomtree.com. Toodles.